welcome to both sides of the coin, apparently. You ended it early, too?
I ended it early. Not the one I wanted to play. I was looking for the other one, and I don't know where it is. It's because I don't produce many shows.
Let me do my intro. I'm muting you. You're muted. Welcome to Both Sides of the Coin. This is the sports talk show where you're going to get some laughs because stupid stuff happens, but this is where the facts do matter, and as you can tell, political correctness, no home here. We're going to get into some heated discussions as always, but at the end of the day, the goal is to stay friends and shake hands, but I don't know, after tonight, we might be testing that today. JB, my man, it has been far too long. How are you today, good sir?
I feel like we were on vacation for a long time. It's been a bit, but we're back in full force. I'm looking for what I'm looking for. I'm not finding it. I'm disappointed. I played the wrong video to start. It's quite disappointing.
You sound very tired. You sound tired and off your game. So I'm ready to kick you in the you-know-what tonight, because this is a good one. We got a lot to talk about. And, man, you are wrong all the time. So let's get to it. The first thing that pissed me off so much the last few weeks, and it's kind of died down because the news cycle is just absolutely insane. It is behind me. This really set me off. Jack Del Rio and the cost of free speech. So I don't know if you remember, it was a couple weeks ago. I really wanted to do the show, but somebody was taking a vacation for fake being sick. And the Jack Del Rio is a former coach. He made comments about January 6th that this whole thing is ridiculous. I don't know why we're focusing on it. Something along those lines, and had a differing opinion than the mainstream media and what happened. The ghouls and goblins of Twitter mob and trash and all just came down on him with everything, and he forced to apologize, probably because he was told he'd get fired if he didn't. And it's amazing to me that in today's world, you cannot. If you dissent from the mainstream media's point of view, you have to apologize for it. You can't have an opinion other than what you're told. You have to have the same opinion. You have to fall in line. You dissent, you turn into good old, we won't go into my favorite GOAT Chief Justice, or I guess he's not the Chief Justice, Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas. We won't go into the GOAT, but he is the GOAT. He's my man. Man, he is awesome. But in any event, if you dissent, all of a sudden, you get a cell phone in your camera. That's what you get. You get a cell phone. Is JB frozen? Nope. All right. JB, you're going to chime in. You're very distracted.
I was fixing the logo. We had the Three Chicks logo up, and looking up the exact comment.
Why don't you just focus on what we're talking about? I told you you're off your game. You're gonna get kicked in tonight.
So I'm looking for his.
He talked about January 6th and he basically said that we had riots all throughout the summer. Nobody talked about all this damage and people dying and businesses burning. Both you had African American and white businesses. There were more African American businesses that were destroyed and won't come back from those riots. And nobody wants to talk about that. How about the black police officer, Mr. Dorn, that got shot in St. Louis protecting a store? Why don't we talk about him?
What he said was, let's get right down to it. What did I ask? Del Rio said Wednesday, a simple question. Why are we not looking into those things? Because it's kind of hard for me to say. I can realistically look at it. I see the images on TV. People's livelihoods are being destroyed. Businesses are being burned down. No problem. And then we have a dust up at the Capitol, nothing burned down, and we're going to make a major deal. I just think it's two standards. So that was his quote from Sports Illustrated.
I agree. We have public hearings going on in January 6th right now. We have public hearings going on.
So it was a little bit more. that it does stuff.
Millions of damage.
It
Okay.
was so Capitol Police officer
But-
did die.
No, he didn't. No, he died a week later from a heart attack. Totally
Which was
unrelated.
contributed. It was contributed to what happened that day. I'm sure of that. And that's
a week
that's
later
where,
he died from a heart attack.
and
I'm
that
contributing a heart
is
attack, I'm gonna die
that
tomorrow
is
from
a
this conversation.
third of this
Asshole.
a third of this country's branch of government was attacked. When you storm the Capitol, you are storming the American government. That's an act of treason.
No, they weren't.
To do something like that.
No, they
You don't think that's treason to? You don't think it's treason to storm the Capitol?
I think
To me, that's
that
treason.
when you have all the videos now of the Capitol Police waving people in, and literally, well, let me ask you a question. Why did Nancy Pelosi
You break it up.
decide to have less police and security? You're breaking up. It's your internet.
I'm completely
Can you hear
clear
me?
for God. Yeah, I hear you fine.
I mean, in any event, Nancy Pelosi had less security that day, made sure there was less security around the Capitol building. There are many weird and odd things going on. Do I think that it's a good thing? No. But when you're comparing the two, billions of dollars of damage.
I'm not comparing the two. I'm making a direct statement. Storming the Capitol is treason.
I'm comparing the two because
we're going to get to Jack Del Rio in a second. Well, let's start with.
So let me get this straight. Storming the Capitol. I'm going to say storming the Capitol because I'm still believe that was far more of a protest that went awry and went too far. And again, not a good thing. But to even put that in the same sentence as billions of dollars of damages. Billions of dollars of damages.
So going into senators and
lives.
Congress. Hang on,
Nobody was there. No,
we'll get to that in 1 second.
If they actually attacked people and people died, it would be a totally different issue. It would be a totally different issue. Nobody died.
We'll get to this. We'll compare both. Let's focus on January 6th. Were they in actual congressmen and senators' offices unauthorized? Is that the branch of the government, the legislative branch? Is that So you could just
Capitol Police waving them in.
I didn't see anyone that showed anyone.
Police waving them in.
I didn't see anyone waving them in.
Oh well, you should do some research because there's lots of videos of it.
Okay.
Lots.
So even if they got waved in, so it's okay to just go into these offices, go through paperwork.
Trespassing, arrest them. They were trespassing. I agree with you. They were trespassing. Arrest them.
The Senate floor. Go on the Senate floor. Go on the.
They were trespassing. Arrest them. They were trespassing.
That's lot more than trespassing. That's treason.
How is that treason? So if I walk into the Capitol unauthorized, I should be shot on scene. That's what you're saying?
When a mob walks in, I didn't say shoot on scene. That's not what I said.
Trespassing is penalty by death. That is what you're saying. So I'm just trying to understand exactly where you're going with this. Because if it's treason, then it should be shot on scene. So
you don't shoot on scene because you have to have a trial. Right. That's what this country is about. Just because I think it's treason doesn't mean you don't get a trial.
Oh, okay.
I'm not on the jury for this.
It's like Uvalde. It's like Uvalde, right? If a guy walks into a school with a gun and I have a gun ready to shoot him, I need to make sure my police officer, can I shoot this guy? No? Okay, got it. He needs a trial. Okay, got it. That's what you should do. You should wait because,
we can spin any situation and be way out there. You're right. Your thoughts are completely ridiculous. You think storming the Capitol? You think storming the Capitol is not treason? So why have a government?
I I don't think it's treason. I think you can say it's trespassing, arrest them all. Sure.
Well, how would it be trespassing? You just said they got waved in. So how's it trespassing then?
I agree with you.
Well, you just said it was trespassing. So was it trespassing or they get waved in? Pick a side.
Saying the worst case scenario is trespassing. You want to charge them for it? Go ahead.
Absolutely. That's called treason. That's definitely. Yes.
So again, so all those people should be put to death. Everybody that was in the Capitol, you think should be put to death.
I think if you're going to storm the legislative branch of the government, you committed treason. Without a doubt.
And so you should be put to death. That is the penalty. So all those people should be killed.
That's the max penalty. That's not the only penalty.
No, treason is punishable by death. You lose your citizenship of the country. If you are treasonous to this country, you betray it. You are no longer a citizen, and/or you are put to death.
I mean, why would you're going to storm the Capitol? You obviously don't care if you're an American citizen. You're storming the government. I mean, I don't see how that's possible. I mean, I'm waiting for a good explanation on this. So if, someone's not happy with the president, we should storm the White House. That's what you're saying. It's okay.
I never said it was okay.
If someone's not happy with the
people into the White House.
Okay, so you're still on this.
And they've already stormed the Supreme Court.
They stormed.
And they already stormed the Supreme Court.
When did they storm the Supreme Court?
Do you not watch the news? Have you not seen the Roe v. Wade? Have you not seen the plot to try to kill Kavanaugh? Have you not seen everything that's going on right now? Like, are you awake?
I don't pay attention to the stupid news. There's no reason for it. There's not a positive thing. I watch sports. Inflation's up. My money goes less than what it did a year ago. And you storm a government, and the same thing with the Supreme Court. If you storm the Supreme Court, you're treasonous. Same thing. It goes for both sides. Just because you're unhappy with something with the government doesn't make you.
In any event,
there's ways to protest.
The fact that we're having
a government building.
The fact that we're right. There's ways to protest. The ways to protest are you burn down billions of dollars of damaged buildings, you end businesses.
That's not acceptable either.
People's livelihoods. We don't have any type of investigation into that. We investigate where nobody died. Maybe we'll say $10 million of damage happened. That we need an investigation in, through and through. That
neither side is correct. Any damage at any protest is not correct. Neither would be acceptable.
Exactly.
You don't see me saying.
Sure. I'll agree with you on that. I'll agree with you on that. But Jack Del Rio said that, and he got fined and suspended for saying that.
I mean, I don't agree with his dust-up comment, but I don't think he should have been fined nor suspended.
No way. Ridiculous.
I agree.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
I agree.
Almost as ridiculous as this Deshaun Watson crap. This stuff really irks me, man. This stuff really, really, really irks me. I mean, this dude is not a good person. He's not. I'm sorry. You don't have 30-some people coming out and, he finally was able to buy off a bunch. Some he wasn't able to. But this has been going on for a long time. And it's funny. At one of the Chicago sport card shows, I talked to a criminal attorney who doesn't, he's into vintage. He's the guy you were there, the guy to the left of us.
Yeah.
So he's into vintage, and he doesn't follow local, like, modern sports or anything like that. And so I asked him, I said, you're a criminal defense attorney. He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So you have a defendant, right? And there's 20-some people, accusing you of sexual improprieties. And, you have a lot of money, you're a public figure, what's the first thing you're going to do? And he said, try to pay them off. I go, exactly. It's been going on for almost 2 years now. What does that mean? They don't want money and you're guilty. They want revenge. That's what he said, almost word for word. And I'm like, exactly. That's what I've been saying about the Deshaun Watson. He's like, who's the Deshaun Watson? That's what he said. I was like, oh, that's perfect. You have no idea who we're talking about. So that makes you unbiased.
So, but then why settle now? Why would they settle now if, you know?
I agree with you. I don't know why a bunch of them did settle, but a few did not. I mean, look, right. I do think the fact that he didn't get indicted, which I still don't understand how he didn't get indicted, but I think that that's what led to a bunch of them settling, was they can't get him criminally, so they're only going to get money out of him anyway, so you may as well get money out. Like, that's the mindset. But 4 of them, I think, are literally saying, we want this to go to trial. We want it to come out what's happening, because he doesn't want to come out. He doesn't want to come, like, stuff that's coming out. He doesn't want the stuff that happened to come out publicly. I could not get that word out. But he doesn't. He clearly doesn't. That's why he's dragging it, because, again, let's take the other side, okay? If you're 20-something years old, right, and you're about to get a $200 million contract, and you're innocent of these allegations, would you stay silent? Or would you be singing to the hills that you're innocent, you are trying to get taken for your money, and this is all BS? What would you do? Because I can tell you, if I was innocent of that, I would not be sitting. I would say, take me to court. I would be up in front of this. I would be in front of the media professing my innocence because I'm innocent. I got nothing to hide. I can tell you that right now. And what did he do? Disappeared. That's what he did. He's guilty as guilty can be. He did it. Again, it may not be to the extent of something that's like, rape or anything. And I don't know if it's rape or not. I'm just saying it may not be to that extent, but he clearly did something to make so many women uncomfortable. And this whole Me Too movement, Me Too, and all of a sudden, well, it's football, so 6 games, meh. Zeke Elliott got 6 games suspended for being accused of hitting his ex-girlfriend when they had text messages from her, the ex-girlfriend, the accuser, to her best friend saying, if anybody asks you if Zeke hit me, tell them he did.
Right.
Lie for me. It was something along the lines of lie for me and say that it was clear and obvious. He still got 6 games. How the hell is Deshaun Watson not going to get suspended for a full year? And on top of that, how is the NFL going to allow them to structure the contract so that all his guaranteed money is in year 2, 3, 4, and 5? So even if he gets suspended for this year, he still gets all his money.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can't say whether I think he did it or not. I can tell you, I probably, if I didn't do it, I'd have fought it to the end. Okay. Unless my lawyer said the odds are I'd lose a lot more money, if I didn't.
I wouldn't care about the money. If I was innocent and this was my name, the money, I would lose $20 million, especially if I'm going to make $200 million. I would rather lose $20 million professing my innocence than make $40 million by staying silent and being in this spot now, because you still paid them anyway. So, you're innocent. You in this situation when it's such a public case. No, you need to go all in on it.
I don't know. You got to still go with what your attorney says. That's the problem. And
the one attorney that talked about how if you get happy endings at the end and you don't think that they are happy endings and it gets an uncomfortable situation, that it's not really a sexual assault or anything. He said that. Look it up.
It doesn't matter. You if you're hiring your attorney, this isn't
the attorney said that on a podcast.
I understand that, but he's paying for his attorney, right? It's not legal aid. If you're just Sean Watson, you have to hire your attorney, right?
Yeah, you picked a bad attorney, and the attorney's giving him terrible advice. That's my point.
Doesn't matter. You're still going to listen to your attorney, right?
It's bad advice.
It doesn't. Listen, stop for a second. If you hire an attorney, you obviously think they're good, right? Or you're not going to hire them, right or wrong?
You don't have to listen to your attorney in this case, especially when you're.
No one says you have to listen to your attorney, but answer the question. If you hire your attorney, don't you think they're good? Or are you going to hire somebody you think's incompetent?
I don't know. Deshaun Watson does not seem like he's very competent. So,
like, again, avoiding the question. I've never met someone.
You're really good at.
I've never seen anyone hire an attorney that they thought was incompetent. You hire an attorney you're comfortable with that you think is good.
I've seen plenty of people hire an attorney who didn't really have a choice, and that's who they ended up hiring. I don't know how many times you've been involved with legal cases. I've been involved with quite a few.
Usually, when you're paying, you would find someone that you found that was competent.
A lot of times you're not paying. What if the husband is paying?
I'm talking about people that are paying for their own attorney. Deshaun Watson paying for his attorney.
Yeah, she's essentially paying for the attorney because it comes out of her equitable distribution, but she also has to deal with paying the attorney, and then getting reimbursed, and she can't afford certain attorneys. So, listen, you're barking up the wrong tree on this one.
I'm not. I'm talking about Deshaun Watson, not a woman that's using whatever attorney she's using. In Deshaun Watson's case, he has more than enough money to hire whatever attorney he feels is competent. He's not hiring someone he thinks is incompetent.
Okay, but he is also an idiot. So his opinion is irrelevant.
Wow. It's his life. No, his opinion is the most important opinion. In his life, he makes his own decisions. Nobody makes his decisions. So Deshaun Watson's a robot that someone else has control over.
He's a moron.
Wow. You're killing me tonight. You said I was going to get killed tonight. So far, I'm 2 for 2.
In losing.
2 for 2. Not at all. Not at all. I'm like the Baltimore Orioles. Yes, Judge, here. That was for you. I'm like the Baltimore Orioles. I'm going to win 10 in a row. We keep going. Let's go. Next.
Like the Baltimore Orioles of 2021. 44 and 120.
I'm like the current 10th game in a row Baltimore Orioles. Can't lose. You're sitting here telling me that Deshaun Watson, who obviously is paying for his own attorney, is hiring someone that's incompetent, that he thinks is incompetent.
He could think that it doesn't matter what he thinks. He's an idiot. His opinion is irrelevant.
It's his life. His opinion is the only one that matters. In his life, wow, you are making no sense. Yes, that's your argument. It's not making any sense.
No, it's going over your head.
No,
Move on.
Not at all. Not at all. Go ahead. I want to hear what's next. What do we got next here?
What do you want to talk about?
So let's talk about Patrick Mahomes, how NFL players can't be at beer commercials. I know I was telling you about that before. Did you get a chance to look at it?
That's what I was just trying to do.
So while you're looking it up, I'll tell everyone what it's about. So Coors Light and Patrick Mahomes found a way to skirt around NFL players being at beer commercials. You see Patrick Mahomes going over to the fridge, taking out a flashlight, a big silver flashlight, and all the double entendre about Coors Light. And, he's like, it's a flashlight. But meanwhile, we all know they're talking about Coors Light. The flashlight says Coors Light. So what a crafty way to get around the rules. So why can't NFL players be in a beer commercial? How stupid is it?
The NFL rules are so stupid. Like, why on NBA draft night is it you get drafted by the Cleveland Indians pending trade, or Cleveland Cavaliers pending trade to Charlotte Hornets? Like, who cares? They did a trade. Like, I want to be on draft night. I want to wear the uniform that I'm going to if I know where I'm going. Like, what sense does that make?
It's just odd. It doesn't make much sense.
It's literally the dumbest thing in the world.
But the
Literally the dumbest
NFL, we can see 8 million beer commercials, during an NFL game. We can go to the stadium and buy 4 beers at a time and, drink as much as we want and have crazy fights in the stands because we're drunk. But Patrick Mahomes, don't hold a bottle of Coors Light or a can in the commercial. Not allowed. Because that makes sense to me. Isn't it great?
So it must just say that you can't hold a beer. Is that what it says?
You can't hold a beer,
it's a clear advertisement for a beer company. I mean,
without a doubt.
It's so that's what I'm saying. So there's clearly some wording that around that says you can't be in.
You can't be in a beer commercial, and you can't endorse a beer. So that's why, if you look, he didn't say anything. He said it's a flashlight. He didn't say anything else in the commercial. The announcer saying everything else, and he's holding a long flashlight that says Coors Light. It is genius. It truly is. Whoever at Lee Steinberg's office got that deal and figured out how to make that work,
probably my boy
power to him. That was just one of the greatest things I see today. When I saw that, I was dying.
Why don't we switch gears again? I don't even think it's not on our list. I don't think I'd talk about this, but LeBron James, amazing, awesome comment. That was the best thing I've seen all day. Brittany Griner should not want to return to the United States. Come on. This is your man.
I don't know. This was gonna be a little tough.
I'll let you take this one. Come on.
I mean, first of all, there's no proof that she actually did anything. That she actually had whatever she had, and whatever was found at that airport, could have been planted on her.
It doesn't matter.
She pleaded guilty.
Again, it doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter? I want to hear this one.
It doesn't matter because when you're in a jurisdiction like this, they make the rules. You don't make the rules. You're playing by their rules. And I'm saying it doesn't matter, who cares? I'm saying it doesn't matter in the sense of this is a risk that you have to think about when you are doing this. You're going to these countries. And, again, I really have a hard time believing that they were we're going to arrest this person and plant it on her, make a whole big I have a hard time believing the conspiracy side of that. I think it's much more plausible that she was extremely arrogant and thought that the rules don't apply to her and her shit doesn't think. I think that's far more plausible because she's the one that talked about how much she hated America and how America is this terrible place. And now she's crying hysterically for America, the same place that she hates, to come save her, because she's getting a real dosage of what it's like in other countries around the world and how awful it is and how amazing the country that she gets to live in, that we all get to live in, actually is.
I don't think she once stated that America is a horrible place. I don't think she ever said she didn't want to live in America.
No, she didn't say she didn't want to live in America.
Nor did she say America
trashed America, dude. LeBron James has trashed America.
I don't think either one has trashed America. I think we have a lot of problems in our country. Yes, we still are the best country on the face of the earth, but we could do a lot better. And don't tell me we can't. Oh, go ahead. I want to hear this one, how great America is. Tell me.
You don't think America is the greatest country in the world?
That doesn't mean you can't do better. Just because you're the best doesn't mean you shouldn't be striving to be better than you are today.
We're talking about two totally different things.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
We absolutely are not.
We definitely are.
See, you're yesterday. you're yesterday's news with this thinking. I don't know where you are tonight, but it's been too much time off. You're not back yet. Maybe next show you'll be on your game because you're thinking just because we're the greatest country on the face of the earth that we do everything perfect.
I never said that. Yeah, you're putting words in my mouth. Never said that.
You don't think we could do better?
That has nothing to do with anything. As I said, we are the greatest country in the world.
But that doesn't mean
there's a reason why there are migrants trying to come into this country illegally by the thousand. Because this is the most free country, the country where if you want to go from nothing into a billionaire like LeBron James, the opportunity is here. This country made him a billionaire. And what does he do? At every chance he gets, he shits on America. He does it all the time.
You know what's great about that? If you feel that way,
that he can say it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I agree with you. Totally agree. But look behind me. Not everybody gets to have free speech. It only applies if you think a certain way. You think a certain way, you conform. Well, then it's okay. As soon as you disagree,
wait, we've had this conversation before. Let's go back to that conversation with Jack Del Rio if you want to bring him back up, right? So Jack Del Rio works for a team. So and you're in all the professional contracts there's different clauses of what you can say and what you can't say.
That there's no reason that he can't say something along the lines of he disagrees with what's going on. There's no reason he can't say that. You want to say that, we're going to suspend you for causing commotion. Well, then you can suspend anybody for any commotion. Why aren't we suspending LeBron James for saying what he said? Why can you only make comments that are left-leaning? Why? Why is it okay to make asinine comments that are left-leaning? She shouldn't want to come to America again.
Do you forget about Colin Kaepernick, who's not in the NFL anymore?
I remember him being in the NFL for a long period of time as he was kneeling, and then he was gone from the NFL because he's not an NFL quarterback.
So you're going to tell me that there's 90 quarterbacks in the NFL when he got cut that were better than him?
I'm going to tell you that when he got cut, he got beat out by Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert.
Irrelevant. Answer my question.
That's totally irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant that a barely NFL quarterback beat him out.
Think about it.
Totally irrelevant.
You're going to tell me that there's 90 quarterbacks in the NFL that are better than Colin Kaepernick, even today.
There obviously is. He's gotten tryouts, and it went horrible. Horrible.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you that it doesn't matter because when he sits there and says the NFL is like slavery and then still wants to go try out for slavery, he doesn't even want to try out. He wants it to be a show because if he wanted to try out, he would have gone to an actual tryout. Instead, he said, no, I'm trying out. You're coming to my field. You can't bring your report. You have to bring this person. You have to bring these reporters. It was absolutely asinine, the stipulations that he was trying to ascertain.
He's gone to other tryouts after that. So
No, this was the first tryout since that last tryout where he said you have to do everything by his stipulations. This was the first one. It was the first one.
He tried out for Seattle. Tried out for, I believe, the Raiders.
Right. This year was the first time he started doing tryouts again since when he went back and had that whole shitstorm on him acting like a crybaby.
No, he had other tryouts after that.
No.
He most certainly did.
No.
100% positive on that one.
You can be 100% positive. It's still wrong.
That's
like many other
100%
things.
accurate.
You're wrong.
You're 0 for 3 tonight. You are actually like a major league hitter. You keep striking out of the low outside pitch.
You are actually like MSNDNC. It doesn't matter what the facts are. We're going to tell you what is wrong and tell you it's right.
Absolutely not.
You're right.
Absolutely
More like
not.
CNN. I agree.
Yeah. Both horrible.
The worst words in the world. Do your own research. Oh.
You are 0 for 3, man. That's pretty bad. You're like the Pirates lineup.
You're always going to be 0 for 3 when, you don't conform and you're on CNN.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
So what else we got?
You tell me. I brought up a bunch of stuff. You wanted to complain about something that I've already proven that I was right about. So you want to acquiesce why I'm right? Please title me.
Which one are we talking about? The congressional medal? No, the presidential medal for
whatever.
Simone Biles.
Joe Biden not knowing where he is today.
So I'm just confused as to, the timing of it, the spectacle,
it makes
ever
no
since.
sense.
Listen, again, during the Olympics, when Simone Biles felt that she couldn't compete, I'm for you. Listen, your gymnastics is dangerous. You're not in the right headspace. You have to bow out. By all means, do what you got to do. After that, you make a commercial for Powerade, pauses power. If you don't take any money for it and you show it's donated to, I don't know, people that are suffering from depression or whatever, I'll be behind you. I haven't heard anything about that. It seemed like they're turning it into a positive message that
she quit.
Well, I mean that's what I. That's
and then
what
now
I took
everybody's like, "Slay, woman, slay! You quit. That's fantastic." Dude,
that's kind of what I took from it for the Powerade commercial, and then after that to get the presidential medal
for quitting. She got a medal for quitting. I can't stand this culture anymore because it is utterly ridiculous. We are praising people for quitting. We are allowing men to compete in women's sports. And if you say that that's what's happening, if you say that a man can't get pregnant, that is violence. That's violence now. Did you know that? Yeah.
Well, the NCAA actually banned transgendered from women's swimming events, I believe.
Right, but not
the last time
not other events.
Progress. Sometimes you gotta go a step at a time.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
We're both on the same side of this argument, but sometimes you gotta take one step forward before you take 10.
I don't know how we have to even take one step. We already have Title IX on the books. What's the point of Title IX? We've already taken these steps.
Listen,
there's already a law on the books.
Listen, we're in agreement on this, but at least it's progress.
No.
You don't think this is progress?
It's not progress. No.
You don't think it's
progress? We have gone significantly backwards. And to sit here and say, well.
But no, we've gone forward from where we were.
No. We've gone backward. The fact that this is even an issue is ridiculous.
So the day before they banned it,
an issue
stop.
Ridiculous.
Time out.
No,
time out. I'm using one of my timeouts. I'm using a timeout.
Use one of your timeouts. You can't mute me, so go shove it. No. This is not
you need to understand,
progress.
Right?
No, so, I don't need to understand anything. We still have gotten to the point. Progress was Title IX. That was progress. Where we're at now is regression. The fact that this is even a conversation, we are in regression. Just because you're taking a little tiny step towards where we should be does not mean we're progress.
You just proved my point. So
that's
it was progress
not
from the time
progress.
Before.
That's not progress. That's not progress. Progress is making sure that we have women's sports, and women, that means you are a biological woman, not a he, her, or shit, whatever. You're a biological woman that competes in women's sports. And this is nothing against trans people, nothing at all. I
Of
think
course
the
not. One
solution
thing has
is
nothing to do
you
with the
should
other.
have well, again, that's
A
not
third
true.
division.
Their argument says that it does, but at the end of the day, have a third division. Like I said, I
Yes,
keep
we
going back
agreed
to
on
this.
that.
Why are there not women trying to compete in men's sports? Why? Oh, because they can't. Right. So because of that, we created Title IX and a separate division for women. So now we have men competing in women's sports. This is not progress. This is massive regression. Our culture is rotting from me. We have a president that is literally dementia ridden. He can't even read off a teleprompter anymore. Our vice
I don't know.
president
I don't know
literally
what has anything to do with sports.
it has a lot to do with sports because it shows the culture that we have. That same president is who gave Simone a medal for quitting. That's the culture that we live.
So the first thing is I'm gonna cut you off because you sound foolish thinking the president decides who gets those medals. You know better than that. I know you're intelligent.
Listen,
you're going to tell me that
I'm not doing it.
You think that the president sits in the room and says, "I'm giving the medals."
I think the president can sit in the room and say, "I'm not doing it."
He can, but he doesn't. That's not how it works.
Because Joe Biden asks where to walk. He doesn't even know where to walk.
You're right. You're 100% right. Worst thing in the world. You're funny, man. You're killing me.
It was the worst thing in the world. I didn't say it was the worst thing in the world. I mean, Joe Biden being president is probably the worst thing in the world.
You're killing me tonight. I've never seen you this off your game. I mean,
you can keep saying that. It doesn't make it true. It's just like, you know.
You think that a president decides who gets medals?
I never. You keep putting words in my mouth.
You just said it 5 minutes ago. You said.
I said I wouldn't do it. If I were him, I would just not do it.
You know, if we had a rewind button, I'd play a few. You said he decided to give her the medal, basically. So I
said he decided to give her the medal. Yeah, he said, "I'm going to put this medal on you." Yes, he could have very simply said, "I'm not doing this. I don't believe in it." Why couldn't he say that? Right, Joe Biden wouldn't do that. Trump would have.
I don't know.
You really think Trump would have put a medal on both of them?
Don't know.
They wouldn't even shown up for it. You're arguing about it.
They would all had McDonald's and sung Kumbaya at the White House. You know, but that doesn't make it if right or wrong. It doesn't matter. You know, the president doesn't decide that, so that's irrelevant.
Has nothing to do with deciding who gets it. I said he wouldn't do it. The actual act of putting the medal on her. That's not deciding that she gets it. I said decide to put it on her. You keep putting words in my mouth so you can be like, I would. Pinky up.
Listen, it's a clean
change the facts. Yeah,
because
we're on CNN. I know. Thank you, Mr. Brian Stelter. Thank you. Do your own research. Oh, worst words in the world. That's your new nickname, Brian. I'm going to start calling you Brian. That's it. That's how bad you are tonight. I'm going to call you Brian. That's it. What's next, Brian?
You are 0 for 4. This is like
I know, but I'm on CNN. I'm always 0 for the century with several foul tips. Let's go. Next.
Wow. You going to be able to sleep tonight?
Oh, definitely going to be able to sleep after this snooze fest of an argument that you just threw up.
Wow. So I want to hear where you won tonight. That's, I think, the next topic. Explain to me which point you gave tonight that was the best point that made you win an argument out of any of these topics.
The fact that...
Wow, you don't even have one. 5-0. 5-0, because it took you that long to come up with it. Bam! 5-0. Go ahead.
Right, 5-0. I agree. Thanks. There's the Freudian slip. That's like Hakerman and Joe Biden. Repeat the line into quote 5-0.
It's tough. It's got to be tough.
It does.
You let the guy
right is very hard. I don't even have to sit here and argue. That's why you keep trying to convince everybody. I'm just like,
trying to convince anybody.
I don't need to sit here. You keep trying to convince people. You're the one that keeps saying, 0-5. Do your own research, Brian Stelter. You keep trying to say it. I'm just sitting here letting it stand for itself because I know it's right.
Right. Because when somebody asks you what your best line of the night was,
I tried saying it, but I couldn't even get a word out. As soon as I started talking, it's 5-0. 5-0.
after a long
5-0. Brian Soper. 5-0.
after a long pause.
Listen, I had my man
See,
but it's okay.
if you ask me my best line of the night, storming the Capitol's treason. Boom. Right there. I know what I'm talking about. I'm confident in my points. You don't have to agree with me. That's the great thing about this show. We know we don't agree on everything, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you having your opinion because I know I'm right. But yeah.
Best line of the night. Storming the Capitol, you should be shot on scene.
That was your comment, yes.
No, that was your comment.
Nope. Not at all. Never once said that.
It is, yes.
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway.
But it is. You can deny it all you want, but it is.
Wow. I don't see how the words come out of my mouth and go into your ears differently. That's pretty good. Any other topics going on?
5-0, Brian. 6-0 now.
That wasn't an argument, but I'll take a win because a win's a win. You only play who's in front of you.
Okay, Brian. You tell me, what do you want to talk about? What do we got, 10 minutes?
Got 10 minutes. So.
Talk, Brian.
I don't know.
How was your reliable sources show tonight? I mean, all these arguments seem very reliable.
Wow. See, that's something that someone who's behind 5-0 would try and do. Try and discredit a credible argument. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. You know,
you're using my argument I just used not 20 seconds ago. You're trying to mimic. That's how badly behind you are right now. You're trying to use it. Wow.
You know, where is Jay when you need him to just, award me the victory and we can move on?
He's probably so embarrassed he doesn't even want to come on.
Yeah. Jay's busy at the moment.
He's like,
so what do you think about the All-Star game? Anybody you feel was snubbed?
I think the Yankees are finally coming back to earth. If I'm a Yankee fan right now, I would be very nervous.
Listen,
I am very nervous.
I am a Yankee fan right now. They're going to make the playoffs and lose. I've said that from the beginning of the year. I don't care if they have 115 wins.
I was not confident of that position until this past weekend because the Red Sox. I was totally dead set. There's no chance. I thought the Red Sox were going to get swept and get their butts kicked. Man, dude, the first two games, they got their butts kicked. All of a sudden, the Red Sox came back and punched them in the mouth, and the Yankees just could not shake it. And it's like, literally, it's like that team that has so much confidence and is playing so well in the beginning of the season, and they get punched in the mouth once, and they come falling crashing right back to earth. And literally, it feels like that's being played out in front of our eyes today. Did they lose again today?
They were losing last time I checked. I'm looking now. Where is it today? Yankees. No, they came back and won in extras. But they're playing Cincinnati. It shouldn't have to go to extras. That's not very good. They lost to them last night after losing the last two to Boston.
They got lucky that they won that.
I'm sure they did. They were down, I think, in the 8th inning when I looked at it last.
Yeah, they were down on the set. Yeah.
And this is Cincinnati. You shouldn't be having problems with Cincinnati.
And they're at home.
Yeah. Listen, Yankees are overpaid. They're gonna.
Well, I just think that when you're in the AL East, it's clearly the best division in baseball, and you have three other teams that are over 500. All of them are over 500, but you have three teams that are literally fighting for third, fourth, and fifth place best record, but they're all playing each other. They're clearly the best teams in baseball. So, you have to take it with a grain of salt that their record, yes, the Yankees record, obviously that's why they're where they are, but the other three teams, their record, if they were in another division, I think would be significantly higher. They would be
exactly, because they'd be playing. Yeah, they'd be playing worse teams instead of knocking each other off. I agree completely.
So I think that record is deceiving. I think the Red Sox, I think the Blue Jays, I think the Rays. I mean, the Rays losing Wander is a big loss, so I think they're going to fall off a little bit. But even the Orioles, I think those are all teams that in a 3-game series could beat any one of each other. Could beat the Astros, could beat the Indians or Guardians, whatever political correctness crap bullshit that is. I think that they could just.
And if you're Toronto, how do you fire your manager that you're over 500 and in the wild card?
I don't know, but I gotta tell you, I think it's utterly ridiculous that you have to have a vaccine to play in Toronto. I think that is quite possibly the epitome of absolute ridiculousness. And if that's the case, then they should really look to take Toronto. They should really look to take them out of Toronto because this is going too far at this point. I mean.
Yeah, 10 guys from Kansas City couldn't make the trip.
Good for them. Good for them. The government should not I hope it gets to a point where they can't play the game. And it's getting close to it. It's getting close to it because they're going to have to do something about it because they should. Because that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that you're putting players in a position where they have to choose to work or take something that's experimental, and there's already side effects coming out about what's going on with it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That we should not have a team in another country. We shouldn't at this point. That's where I'm at with that. I think they should take them out of Toronto. You don't like it? Too bad, Toronto. Justin Trudeau, you can shove it where the sun don't shine. Wow.
So you're saying that the Canadian government shouldn't do what they feel is best for their people for health and safety?
Justin Trudeau is a communist.
That doesn't answer my question.
I don't think Stalin should have done what he thinks is best for his country. No, I don't.
You don't think what?
I don't think Stalin should have done what he thought was best for his country. No.
We're not talking about Stalin. We're talking about Canada.
Talking about communists. Yeah, Justin Trudeau's a communist.
We're talking about Canada.
He's a communist.
And Canada's not a communist country.
No, Justin Trudeau is a communist Marxist person.
So one person in Canada cannot make every rule and law. So you don't think the Canadian government...
Prime Minister, and he pushes for these ridiculous... How many people do you know live in Canada? How many?
Not many, but...
I have a lot of good friends in Alberta. I have a lot of good friends in Ottawa. I have a lot of good friends in Manitoba. I have a lot, all three of the spectrum. All three of them are really ready to move out of Canada because of what's going on up there. They can't stand Justin Trudeau. They don't know how he's gotten elected again. They think their election was rigged also because of how ridiculous he is. I'm just telling you what they've told me. Like I have no opinion on that part. I'm just telling you what they've told me. Calgary.
So the Parliament in Canada doesn't make the laws.
Parliament in Canada is split because they have multiple parties. So it's not the same. You can't compare it. It's not the same. And their parliament is their prime minister has a lot more power than the president of the United States does because their constitution does not afford them as many rights as people or their parliament. So yes, again, you're barking up the wrong tree. I think that they can do whatever they want. They can.
Okay, I just want to make sure that's where we agree on that.
They can still. They're their own sovereign country. They can instill whatever laws they want, but so can we. And therefore, we should not be putting teams in Canada when they're imposing this bullshit.
But we don't, as a country. MLB does as a business because they want to grow and they feel that Toronto is the market that they want to have a team in.
Things change.
I'm not disagreeing.
Always improving. Always improving. Progress.
The A's are going to move probably soon. Because they can't get a stadium deal done. So, of course, teams move all the time. Yeah. But that's better for the A's. Toronto, the pandemic year played in Florida. Didn't they? Or Buffalo at one point?
I don't know. But
the Raptors played in Florida. So,
Djokovic can't come to America because of COVID vaccine, which is also ridiculous. Did you know that?
So
America has that too.
So you don't think the American government should do what they feel is best for?
Oh no, I think it's asinine. I think Joe Biden doesn't know the
Okay.
difference between his asshole and a hole in the ground.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that, and like once again, you say Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not the American government.
Right.
Joe Biden's
the World Economic Forum
part of it.
The World Economic Forum is. Thank you.
No. Once again, it's that place that was stormed on January 6th by the treasonous people. But we're out of time.
7-0, Brian. 7-0.
We're out of time right now. So where can people find you? Where can people find
me? I'm a CPA. I do tax work, have my own tax practice, do sport card investing, do taxes for sport cars, real estate, a lot of different clients. You can find me www.adamgoldsteincpa.com. That is my website. Always taking on new people. Just got a new office, so you can come visit me. Other than that, Mr. 0-7, where can they find? Sorry, Brian.
So
where can they find you?
Even if you disagree with everything Adam said tonight, and you agree with me, which half the people will, because it's pretty split. He's still an excellent CPA. Make sure you give him a call if you ever need anything done with taxes. I do endorse that. But you can find me, JB_ the program, on Twitter. Sideline Sports, 7 nights a week, shows going on. We've made a lot of additions to the network. We have phenomenal shows, 7 nights a week. Former NFL player George Jones will be joining Sideline Sports on Tuesday nights. The Geary and Stein show had breaking news about Trey Wayne's retirement a couple of weeks ago with Dave Stevens, 7-time Emmy Award winner from ESPN, on their show. 3 Chicks in a Pod, which was on earlier tonight. Great show. Basketball Sunday night. There's so many great shows. I could go on forever. Sports Arena, which is on before us. Great job by Eric Wilson and the rest of that team. There's so much good stuff going on. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Adam will try again to put something on the victory board. Thinking another shutout will come. But that's all I got. Have a good night, everybody. 7